just find a comfortable seat. And just take a few moments here just to settle in, settle down, settle back. Create some space. Feeling into this spaciousness. Spaciousness is the absence of struggle. One word I want you to think about during practice tonight is the word recognize. So I've been playing a lot with this word lately this year, this kind of beginning of January. I just thought of like, what word will I really kind of feel towards this year? I just kind of made it a little bit of a mantra. So for me, it's recognize. So I want you to just feel that word. And at the end, we'll explore that a little bit more. Feeling, first of all, that maybe we can start practice with recognizing that there can be, instead of harsh criticism, instead of judgment, judging too harshly, being too critical, that there instead could be appreciation. And I've noticed with that little tiny shift, it can make an immense change in your attitude and create a lot of softness in your heart and really around any situation that you might be confronted with. So let's apply that to our practice tonight. Let's bring the palms together and place them at the heart. Let's take an inhale and let the heart and the whole length of the spine extend from the tailbone to the crown of the head, and even feel into the space beyond and around you. Feel that that space holds you. The positive forms and shapes and the negative, all melding, fusing together as one. Feel into the parts of you, and then feel into the wholeness. Feel into the space that holds all of that together. Let's take a deep inhale together for Om, breathing in and up. Om. And feel the sense of connection and unity with the sound, with the vibration. And begin to slowly open the eyes. So let's begin just opening up with the fingertips and the toes. You know, I really like to do this a lot. The extremities are really important. Brings in a lot of sensory information for the body, for balance, for stability. And also keeps the joints safe, especially the wrists, the ankles. So let's go ahead and just shift the weight forward and back into the palms, spread the fingers wide. And then keep your weight rather forward and just go side to side a little bit. So working across the wrists from right to left and left to right. And then start to pick up the fingers and really kind of feel with the fingertips. So really almost like you have gecko kind of sticky fingers, right? So turn them back so the fingertips face the knees, and you can bring them in a little closer if that's too much of a challenge for your arms and your wrist. And then just go sink back with your hips and come forward. And then again, side to side a little bit. And then turn the fingertips out and go side to side again. And then back forward. And then just go ahead and press into the roots of your fingers and lift the heels of the hands along with the thumbs. Just forward and back a little bit. And then maybe keeping your weight forward and lift and lower, lift and lower. So you can always bring your weight back a little bit if you're just working on strengthening the wrists, or if your wrists are a little bit wonky or, just sensitive. And then prop up on your fingertips and down. So almost like you're pulling up into the center of your palm. Pull up and down, tenting your fingertips, and then shift your weight forward and back. And then bring the backs of the hands down. Turn the fingertips forward towards your knees and rock again. And then side to side. So the palms are facing up and the thumbs meet towards the center. And back to front and center. And then slowly peel them up. And then we'll work on the toes a little bit. So just use the strength of the hands to press back into the toes. You can get a strong flexion. You can lift the knees a little bit to apply a little bit more weight. And lower and back. You can lift a little higher. And just really kind of sink into the toes. Just wake them up. You can lift up a little bit. One at a time. And then come down and let's just go ahead and point the right toes, walk the hands back. So the left toes are tucked, the right toes are pointed back. And we're just gonna roll up. So lift the hips, press into your hands, roll up and onto the whole front of your right foot and down again. Let's do that 2 more times. Just roll right through it. And up, waking up that foot, the dorsum, the top of the foot. And let's just change sides. So tuck the right toes now and point the left foot back and then go ahead and press into your hands, roll up and down. And 2. And exhale, and 3, roll in and down. Try to stay in contact with every part of your foot. And then point both toes back, and then maybe for a little challenge, up and down. And 2. And 3, scoop the belly and lower down. Good, got a little bug on my mat. Okay, so let's come into cat-cow now. Hands and feet woken up a little bit. Get the blood flowing. Let's go ahead, lift the tailbone. Pull the heart through the gate of your upper arms. And stabilize through your upper arms so you're kind of not on your wrist so much. So maybe bring a little bit more weight down into the fingers and the knuckles, especially of the thumb and the index finger. And then exhale and round the back. Open up between the shoulder blades. So we really want to spread that upper back apart. Make it really wide and broad. Let's go again. Inhale, the whole line of the front of the spine gets lengthened. You'll feel that. You can feel from the tip of the pubis through the navel point, all the way through the sternum, the pit of the throat, maybe ride out your gaze. And then exhale. And now it's the back of the spine, tailbone, low back, mid back, neck, and the back of the skull gets that nice stretch. Hang there, or you can just go ahead into a little bit of a sequence, going a little faster, and you can just go ahead and swirl, swivel with the hips, and just let the head follow. Like you're making opposing circles with your tail and the top of your head, and go to the other side. Just waking up the spine, lubricating through the discs and the vertebrae. Okay, and then just press back into child's pose here, walk the hands out. But keep the arms really active. Drop the head towards the floor, or it can come to a block or a pillow. And let's just breathe into the back, the sides, and the front of the trunk evenly, expanding from the inside to the outer. And exhale. See if you can anchor in towards yourself. Find some ground. It could be very subtle ground. Doesn't have to feel like it's solid, like the earth, like your floor, but a grounding, an inner grounding, something that connects to you, that you connect to yourself by and through. And then let's go ahead and set up and lift the right leg up and back. And stay here for a count of 3 and 2 and 1. Lift a little higher and exhale, knee to nose and hold. For 3, you can always lower the toes. And 2 and 1. And inhale back and up. Bend the elbows slightly. Keep the upper arms really narrow into the sides of the chest and start to lower down. Maybe the chest can come to a block. You can have a block set up right there. Maybe the lower ribs can lower down onto your block, or you can bring the chest all the way down as you kick up the leg, opening up the throat, chin lands, gaze is soft as it's forward, and then exhale, push right up and bring that knee in towards the nose. Hold it there. You can plant your foot here. So there's 3 phases here that I'm going to show you. So 1, we're keeping the knee really tucked in towards the chest, even towards the nose, because we're keeping that cat spine, that nice rounding from the tailbone through the crown of the head. So toes are tucked. You have a little bit more stability with this one. And then also we can lift the back leg, okay, and extend through the back heel. Keep the right knee still tucked into the chest. And then the 3rd phase is pointing through the right toes and letting them lift off and really pushing the floor away through the shoulders, using the strength of the shoulders, and hold for 3, for 2, for 1, squeeze in, tuck, 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 and then inhale, reach up and back. Take a nice stretch here. Your down dog split. And then exhale, come forward, lower back down on your right knee. Keep the extension through the right leg. Inhale and exhale and tuck. Inhale and extend. This time, go ahead and bend the knee. Reach around and hold. Take a little twist here. You can bring your weight more forward into your right palm, or you can press back a little. Lift that right thigh up and squeeze the glute. Turn your right chest towards the left and open up deeply here. Like you can breathe right into the center of your chest. And then go ahead and extend it back. And go ahead and let's press back into child's pose. And again, nice big breath. Sides of your trunk, the front of your trunk, and the back of your trunk equally and evenly expand. Exhale, feel an anchoring. And come forward again. Inhale here. For 3, for 2, for 1, finding that long length. Exhale, knee to nose. Create that tuck. Again, you can bring the toes down if you like. For 3, and 2, and 1. 2nd phase. Back leg lifted, extending through the heel. For 3, for 2. That left knee is right up into my chest. For 1, pushing from the shoulders. And then go ahead and maybe the 3rd phase here, pointing strongly back, but keeping the knee right where it was. For 3, and 2, and 1. And big inhale here. Sweeping up and back. And then come forward. Tap that right knee down. Keep the left leg extended. Inhale. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back and lift up. And we missed this part, so we're going to go ahead and take the elbows into flexion, bring the chest down to a block, or maybe the chest comes towards the floor. And then 1 good push to come up on your exhale breath, knee to nose. And then we'll go into the last bit. So bend the knee, lift that left thigh up as you squeeze the left glute and hip, hold, And we'll take that twist. Whoops, really caught that foot. Lift the thigh, squeeze up, use that left shoulder blade, get it nice and snug into your back and take your twist. Breathe for 3 and 2 and 1. Good, let go. Try not to catapult back with that leg, right? And then go ahead and press back. Child's pose here. Taking a moment, breathing in, expanding evenly, breathing out and finding your inner ground. And come forward. Let's lower down onto the belly. Let's set up for Cobra. Work the hands a little bit forward and a little bit out to the side. Using just your arm strength now, just kind of relax everything else and just push yourself up. And then you just want to kind of move around a little bit, oscillate, and just see what's the best position for your shoulders, for your arms, for your hands. So we're really just kind of isolating the lift just through the strength of the arms. So now I want you to turn on a little bit more with the legs. So squeeze the quads, nicely activate there. You'll feel the kneecaps lift. The feet can be together, the inner feet can be together. They can be a little bit apart, whatever feels easier for you. And then feel a little bit more activation in the low belly. So we give the low back a little more length by activating in the front. We work the back and the front together. You feel nice and even, feel supported by your legs. Hips are very grounded. Okay, so now we're using the strength of the arms, but we're also using a little bit more of the spinal muscles. So we're working on distributing the weight a little bit more evenly. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep the shoulders away from the ears as much as possible. Activate your fingertips to drag the heart further forward as it lifts up, keeping the low belly active. One more breath in. And exhale, traction. Use your fingertips to pull forward as you lower down. You stay nice and long. Using the palms, turn the feet in and press back to child's pose. Nice big breaths. And in this child's pose, I want you to squeeze your thighs together, squeeze your outer glutes, and scoop your belly. So tighten up your lower body. Good, let's come forward. So we'll start to do a little bit of that sequence that we just did. And we'll go a little faster this time, just to build up some heat. And again, you can go with any phase of that tuck that you prefer. So let's go ahead and inhale, lift the right leg up. And let's take the exhale to tuck and hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Squeeze in and inhale, extend. Exhale, come in lower. Kicking the right foot up. Exhale, 1 full lift to come up. I'm going to go right into the third phase. And then go ahead and inhale, kick up the right leg, up and back. And then go ahead. This time we're going to step the right foot forward, taking our high lunge here. Breathing in. Back knee could be bent, especially if you have conditions of your low back that you're going to kind of dump a little bit more into the low back if you keep that back leg straight. So go ahead and keep it bent so there's a nice length happening. Otherwise, you can go ahead and really reach out through the back heel, really activate the back leg. Inhale, and then exhale. Let's pour over the front leg. You can hop the back foot in a little bit for our pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. And then go ahead and press into the palms, step the right foot back and the left foot back. Let's find plank pose here. Again, you want to push from the shoulders so the upper back really broadens and flares out. And you can go ahead and come forward and back, working into your wrists. It can always be a knee down plank. The knees are back a little further behind your hips. They're not right under the hips. So you stay strong in the front line of your body. Keep that strong brace, working the back of the body with the front of the body. Good, come forward. Shift forward, tap your knees down, bend the elbows, coming into knee down chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. So whatever position is good for your hands, I'm going to keep them a little further back, but I'm still going to activate the fingertips to drag the heart forward. Shoulder blades down the back, engage the legs, and really ground through the hips. Exhale, traction as you come down. Back to child's pose. Coming forward right away, left leg kicks up, inhale. Exhale for 3, for 2, for 1, squeeze it in, inhale, lengthen, lower. 1 big exhale breath to come up and right away. Tuck that knee in. Again, the foot can be down, the back knee could be down. And then go ahead, inhale. And this time, high lunge. Breathing in, kicking out or softening a little in the knee. Any arms here, by the way? Drag the left hip back a little bit, keeping those hips nice and square. Lower down if you can, if you dare, and then hop the back foot in a little bit for a pyramid pose. Again, remember this pose is really nice with blocks if you have difficulty folding forward. And pour down your legs. Keep the inner feet pressing. It's going to help square your hips. Good, bend in the front knee to place the hands and step back, plank pose. Knee down plank if you prefer. Let's stay for 5. For 4. Really use the power of the legs here, especially the front, especially the quads, adductors nice and active. For 3. For 2. And 1. Go ahead and lower. You can go with full chaturanga. I'm going to lower the knees first. Keep shifting forward so you stay long as you lower. Coming up, this time I'm going to shift into upward facing dog. Pressing strongly through the arms to lift the chest up. Big breath here. Tops of feet pressing. Ankles even and balanced. And then maybe rolling over those feet that we woke up earlier to push up and back and down dog. Staying here and just open up the shoulders now. Roll the triceps back, biceps forward. Press into the inner palms. And just think of down dog as a resting pose if you can. You can really kind of consolidate your energy. Compose any mental tension or any constriction that's felt in the mind or in the body. And see if you can use the breath as a catalyst to breathe through those knots of tension. Lift the heels nice and high. You can keep the knees bent here if you'd like. And then start to lower down, nice and long through the backs of the legs. Let's do that 2 more times. Lift up, bend. You can look forward a little bit and lower down, nice and slow. 1 more time. Bend and start to pull through the heels. Pull the weight down. Breathe in and out, relaxing the belly, relaxing the diaphragm. And then come forward, lower the knees down, and take the hips back to the heels in child's pose here. Bring the arms alongside of you, palms face up, so you really relax the shoulders completely. Just let the armpits melt, let the shoulder blades slide off your back. Take 2 more breaths. Breathe into the back of your waist. And reset the hands forward. And we'll do that one more time. Okay, it's working for some heat. Inhale, extend. Exhale and tuck for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale. And down we go with the chest, with the chin, leg up. Exhale, 1 push to go right in to your tuck of choice. And then inhale, extend. Exhale, step the foot forward, high lunge. Breathing in. And exhale, stepping back foot in slightly and fold in towards your front leg. Bend the knee to plant the hands and step back. Plank. Lower down knees, press back child's. Right away, left leg lifts. Exhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale, extend and lower. 1 big push to go right into your tuck. Inhale, lift. And step the foot forward, high lunge. 1 big inhale. And then exhale to fold. Step the right foot up. Big toes together, a little space between the inner heels. And let's come all the way up to stand. Big breath in. And exhale, palms to the heart. Close your eyes. Just feel your weight balanced evenly, side to side, front to back. How steady can you be? The eye of the storm is always quiet and silent, surrounded by chaos and activity. Can we find that space? Let's go ahead and reach the arms all the way up. Engage the quads here. Exhale and hinge at the hips to come forward. Inhale, a halfway lift. Get long, lengthen out your gaze. And then press into the palms. Step the right foot back, left foot back. Find your plank pose again. Inhale, plank, and then bend the knees, kind of like a little cow pose, and then lift the hips. We're just kind of waving forward and back. Down dog. And then roll up onto the toes. Open up the upper back and come out into your plank pose. Hold plank, and then bend the knees and soften into the back bend. Curve the spine. Lift the hips and press down through the heels. Let's do that 2 more times, just rolling and waving forward to plank. Clean it up. Nice straight lines. Compact your abdomen, and then go ahead and soften and open your abdomen. Finding the back bend and then going hips up and heels down. 1 more, roll and ripple into it, coming out into your plank. Set it up. Your plank, hold up the world. And then soften out of it, bending the knees deeply, pressing the chest towards the thighs, lifting the hips and extending through the heels. Big breath here. Good. You can walk your feet in a little bit. There could be a little bit of space between your feet. And we're going to Really anchor into the left palm now and go ahead and reach back towards the left foot. Just tap it or just reach to the outside or just reach long to the side of your foot and then back again. And then just switch sides, really anchor into the right hand as you reach back and tap with your left fingertips and back. So we'll do that 2 more times on each side. Reach and tap, reach and tap, reach and tap. You can get a little bit more of a twist happening. Reach and tap. Then we're going to plant the right foot towards the left hand or outside of the left hand. And again, the knee could be bent. So just kind of softly, just stomp your foot and press back. And then go with the left side to the right hand and press back. And then right foot stomps, press back. Left foot stomps, press back. Right and left. Now we're going to go ahead and switch it up. Right arm, left arm. Right foot, left foot. Switch it up. Left side. Right arm. Left foot, right foot. Switch it up. Right, left, right, left. One more. Left, right, left, right. All right. So take your time, come back to down dog. And again, see if you can make down dog your resting pose. See if you can release a little bit. See if you can soften, see if you can shift. Look back at your toes. Look to your thumbs. Toes, thumbs. Really use the strength of your arms to push your body back away from your hands. Toes, thumbs. Start to bend the elbows slightly, bend the knees, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Maybe you need to bring the knees down to place the elbows down, or maybe you can bring the elbows down. And then lift the hips up. So forearm down dog. Big breath in. You can walk the toes in. Hips nice and high. Bring the weight forward and back and forward and back. Playing with a little strengthening. Come back, lower down. And then work to the back of your hands now. And just shift so that the elbows are a little bit more narrow. And we're working into the front of the wrist. So the palms face up, thumbs are to the side. Lean your weight forward and start to pick up the elbows and lower. And pick up the elbows and lower. Up, down. More weight can come forward, or you can keep your weight back, just like what we were doing in the beginning. And down. Nice job. Bring the palms together, walk the elbows forward, and drop your prayer behind your head. Let the hips go towards the heels. Squeeze the sides of your head. Open up your triceps. Give them a nice stretch. And then come down. Good. Let's bring the hands down and step the feet in as the hips come up. Downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and lift the right leg to down dog split. Really kick it up. Use the press of the left foot, the strength of the left leg to get the right leg a little higher. And let's go ahead, knee to nose, and step the foot forward. Good, let's come into our high lunge again. Setting it up. Inhale and exhale. Good, inhale. And then we're going to do a little bit of a different pyramid pose. So bring the fingertips down, Walk the back foot in and bend the back knee and rock on your right foot. So we're getting a dorsiflex of the right foot. Lengthen through the spine here. And then go ahead back. So step the left foot back a little bit so you get same amount of space between your feet to go back to your high lunge. And then just step the back foot in slightly. And no arms this time to fold into your pyramid. And let's go ahead into a low lunge now. Breathing in and up. Melt the hips forward and then pop up your right heel. Okay, so we're getting a plantar flexion of the front foot. Breathe into it. For more challenge, you can go up on that pointed foot behind you. This is really going to work the psoas muscle. Really strengthening, and then go ahead and lower that, lower the right heel to go back into our jackknife pose. It's folding over the front leg. You can use your fingertips down or just go reach back. A little balance. And come forward, press the palms. You can go through any vinyasa you'd like. You can also just go head up and back into the down dog and ripple and soften. Ripple back and forward. Sometimes I just like to change it up. It's good to have a little bit of a variety in your practice, just to keep you on your toes, as they say. A little bit awake. Let's go and lift the left leg up and back. Use the strength of the right leg and foot this time. Squeeze that left leg up. Use the glute. Step the foot forward, high lunge. Setting it up, back knee bent or straight. Reach the arms. First one, we step in and then bend the back knee and rock on the left heel. Keep the spine nice and long. You want the chest to feel like it's aiming towards your left toes. You can take a little bow. And then remember to step the right foot back to go back to your high lunge, so you keep the distance between your feet. And then this time, just bow freely, maybe without your arms, keeping the left foot down this time. And squeeze your outer glutes in. It's going to help to stabilize your balance. And then go ahead. Let's lower down the back knee and come up to low lunge here. Melt the hips forward and down. Big breath in. And let's go ahead, exhale, and take it back into your jackknife pose. Or Ardha Hanuman, your half split. Again, keeping the hinge right at the hips. So we're not hinging at the spine, we're keeping the spine nice and lengthened. And then coming forward, we're pointing the back foot, lifting the left heel, and lifting that right knee. Really press into the top of that foot, press into those left toes. We worked this in the beginning, so now we're just putting it and applying it into our practice. Woof. Okay, and lower that down. Nice job. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to step the back foot forward. Inhale here for a halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Use the hands to stabilize yourself. You can use blocks. Lift the heels and bring your hips towards your heels. Knees right up into your chest. It's like we've been doing with that tuck. Okay, so let's go ahead, lift the hips and then turn to the right side and lower down. Knees are still high up into the chest. You can see, so the heels are still lifted. Knees are high up into the chest. Good, at least on the right side. And then go ahead, turn. Stay on the toes to lift the hips nice and high. And lower the hips, but keep the knees lifted into the chest. Turn the knees to the opposite side now. Knees are lifted, heels are lifted. And then lift forward and lower. Let's go to the right side again. Turn the knees, point them to the right. And then lower the heels this time. Walk the hands forward. And you're just going to straighten the legs to take a lateral stretch. Lateral fold over your outer left leg. And then come back to the toes, lifting the heels, drop the hips, knees stay lifted. We'll go to the opposite side again, turning, lowering the heels now, lifting the hips and folding over your lateral right leg. Come up back on the toes, coming forward, plant the palms, bring the weight in to your palms, lifting, lifting, lifting. See if you can find the tipping point where you can imagine your gaze is straight down between your palms. Arms are really straight and strong, pushing from the shoulders. Scoop the belly. Activate the sit bones. Imagine yourself reversing out of gravity. Okay, let's go back to the front of the mat. Inhale and exhale into chair pose. Keep the lower body really firm and active here. You can do a little fun practice in chair, coming up on the heels and lowering down. Coming back up on the toes. Lowering down. Lifting back up. Squeeze into the center line. And then lower the heels down. Woo. Okay. Hands to hips. Let's take a big step back. The right foot. Angling out the right foot now. Turn the right hip forward. Left hip back. We'll go into warrior one. Breathing in here. Good. Open out. High warrior. And then going towards the back of the mat now. We're going to switch to the left arm. And we're going to go into our Parvrita Trikonasana. There could be a slight bend in the right knee. And just pull the right hip back as you twist the left chest to the right. Really scoop the belly here. Imagine that you can move all of the contents of your digestive organs to the right side. So think of this twist as happening deeply on an organ level in your body. Use your breath. Good. And then let's turn this into Trikonasana. But the Trikonasana is going to be a little tricky Trikonasana. We're going to rock on the right heel. Grab the big toe with our right thumb and first two fingers. How about that? Good. And then step the back foot in to face the back of your mat. Left hand to the waist, and we're going to draw the right leg up. Woo. Kicking it forward, kick through the heel. Use the left standing leg strong as a column. It's the outer left glute to hold the stability. Good, out to the side. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. And then we can switch, take a twist. You can do this with a bent knee, by the way. Really work that deeper twist now. Push out through the right heel. Push down with the left heel. Nice job. And then hug that right knee in and up and shake it out a little bit. Chair pose again. Working our way back. Maybe come up on those toes, lower down, and lift, and back to chair. Let's go ahead and step the left foot back. Left hip forward, right hip draws back. Keeping the hips nice and square here. Really use the power of the back leg. Keep the arms nice and crisp and open. Shoulders softening down the back. Turn to the side. And then go ahead and sweep into your Pavarita Trikonasana, bending into the left knee. So don't be so stiff and severe as you go into these twists. You want to be a little soft, and then you can work on straightening the leg. Once you get into position, this is also a nice pose with a block. So I don't have my blocks here, but you would have your block either on the inside or the outside. Turn and twist the abdomen towards the left. Think of all the organs that are involved in that twist. Left hip draws back. Maybe straightening a little bit more into the left leg, but it's not something you want to do if it's not feeling right. So be a little soft on yourself. And then turning open to the opposite side now for Trikonasana. If you can, grab the big toe, opening up. Right hip really pulls back here. You could look down, straight ahead, or up to your right thumb. And then step the feet together, right hand onto the hip, push down with your right foot. Kick out with your left heel. Good. Don't do anything that compromises your spine or the position of your spine. Open it out. Nice and broad through the hips. Let's go and try that twist. Woo. Keep that right leg really firm and active. But you'll notice how you constantly adjust. Never static, never fixed in any one thing. And then come forward, hug that knee in, and then step it down. Let's take a nice vinyasa here. And again, be creative, whatever you really feel like doing, or you can just simply step back into your down dog. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, take a deeper fold. Bring your weight forward, a little back. This could also be a knee, soft knee, forward fold. Really extending the tailbone nice and high as the crown of the head anchors towards the ground. And harmonize the energies of lifting and the energies of grounding. Just go ahead and walk back into your downward dog. Give me these little ants that are crawling around my mat. Lift up and go ahead. We're going to hop through or hop up to our hands. I got a little stuck there. Okay, so work your way back if you got a little forward when you came off your mat. Just bring the hands back and open up the chest here. It's really good for the shoulder blades. Opening the shoulders. Letting the shoulder blades adduct onto your back to really provide the bony support to open up your chest and lift the heart organ. You really want to soften and think about back bending really as happening more in the upper back, behind the collarbones, behind the sternum, and less in the low back. So we have a little bit more clearance there. Okay, and let's come forward into a no-handed forward fold. So squeezing with the abdomen here. This is basically a core forward fold. And then lift back up. So we'll do a reverse tabletop here. Squeezing the hips up, keeping the hips in line with the knees, in line with the shoulders as much as possible. Lean into your right hand, lift the left arm. Lower the left hand, reach the right arm up. Lower that down. Inhale here, and then go ahead and exhale. We're going to bring the hips forward towards the heels and bring the soles of the feet together. So a little bit more distance between the hands now and the hips to open up the chest and open up the shoulders. Really good stretch for both. And then just rock the knees side to side. You can even shift and glide front to back. But don't lose the extension in the chest. We don't want to hollow out here too much. We want that lift. And the knees together. Turn the hands so that the fingers face your heels. Lift the hips up. Scoop the belly a lot. And we're going to slide the hips back and bring the nose towards the knees. Like a pike. Yeah, let's do that again. And slide the hips, trying to keep the hips lifted off the floor and bring the nose towards the knees, squeezing in the belly. And let's go back to our reverse tabletop. Breathing in, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, send the hips forward. You can turn the hands so that the fingers face back. And then really squeeze the feet together to lengthen the thigh bones. So you feel that the more you squeeze the soles of your feet together, the longer your thighs, especially your inner thighs, are going to feel. Keep the chest lifted, spine is active, shoulder blades active. Keep breathing. And then bring the knees together. Let's draw back so we can just kind of slide back into our pike for a moment to lower. And then we'll do one more forward fold here without the arms. So squeezing in. And then hands back, fingers turn back, and lift the hips up. Press toward your toes to keep everything in one nice clean line. Squeeze the sides of your body in towards your midline. Keep the chest open. Try not to have that collapse. Keep the shoulders nice and broad. Broad collarbones. Keep the big toes anchoring towards the floor. Kneecaps lifted. One more squeeze. And we're going to lower. Nice work. Let's end with star. It's one of my favorite poses to end class with. And so we create a negative diamond shape in the front, holding the ankles. You can feed the hands underneath and hold if you would rather. Take a little bit of a cobra spine here, lengthening out of the hips. See if you can separate the low belly from the frontal hips and separate the lower spine from the sacrum. So maximize the length here as we lift the chest. And then softly round now. So let all of those muscles go that you were just activating along the spine. And just let yourself fold into yourself. It's a very pacifying posture, like child's pose. Very quieting and calming. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Watching yourself breathe out. Watch the exhale. And breathe in. Watch the exhale. And breathe in. Watch the exhale. Let yourself let go. Recognize that you can do that. Recognize that you can unclench the fist in your mind, that you can soften into the heart, that you can release into the body. Recognize that you don't have to have an answer for every problem, that you can give yourself a pass, that you don't have to figure everything out. Recognize that that is true and that that is available. Let's come down onto the back now. Before you go into resting pose, just cross your left leg over your right leg, and we'll do upside down cow face legs. Just working the thigh bone, the femur bone in the hip socket a little differently. And just open that up, knees into chest, holding the feet, keeping the toes active, and pull the outer feet down towards the ground. And then just change sides. Right leg on top. Reach for the feet. And just pull them in. Keeping an angle with the shins. Keeping the inner feet active so we keep that ankle nicely aligned. Otherwise, we get that sickling, which we don't really want. And just be aware of that. Pulling down a little bit more. As much as your body will let go. Not forcing anything. And then just hug the knees in. You can lift up the shoulders. Really bring your nose in toward your knees. Really hug yourself in. Create a very tight, compressed and compacted little tuck here. Release the fingertips out as if someone's pulling your fingers, lifting you up. Lifting up a little more, really deepen the navel towards the floor, towards your mat. And then stay in that tuck, arms back. Release the arms. And then lower. Legs up, shake them out. Shake out your arms like upside down bug. Just really let everything go. And then just relax yourself into your resting pose now. So we want to recognize the fact that we are completely whole. That yes, we are made of parts, and those parts are very distinct from each other. But that there is one space that holds all of it. It holds all the parts together in that space. So that we can think of ourselves in having this different relationship to things, to ourselves, to others, to situations and circumstances. I want you to breathe easy and soften into your breath. Recognize that we can shift from there, wherever we were just a minute ago, to right here, to being present. And where are you now? And where are you when there is no problem to solve? Just a glimpse of that freedom, of that space, can set you into a whole different relationship to the things in your life. So recognize that that can happen. Recognize that there's another way to be in a stressful situation. Recognize that you can be responsive instead of reactive. Simply recognize that all of that is there, that all of it coexists. Recognize the goodness within. Thanks for joining me. Hope to see you soon. Namaste.